Welcome to the Dove's Inner Beauty Podcast, where we foster emotional awareness one individual at a time. Leading the way is Demetria Nickens, a certified mental health first aid instructor and trauma recovery coach with over 2 decades of experience in fostering emotional awareness in others by engaging their mental health.
Anger is a natural emotion, but how we express it can either strengthen or damage our relationship and well-being. In this episode, we're going to explore the fine line between healthy and harmful expressions of anger, along with practical ways to turn this powerful emotion into a tool for growth and understanding. Welcome back, everyone. This is Garfield Bourne, co-host / producer, back in the studio with the one and only Demetria Nickens. Demetria, how's it going today?
It's going well. It's going well. How are you?
I got a big question for today. You ready for it?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
How can we differentiate between healthy expressions of anger and destructive reaction, and what strategies can help us channel anger into a more constructive way?
Well, such a big question, right? So, and I want to start with anger, right? You started out this conversation with this idea that anger being an emotion, right? And this is how we have to see it in order to express it appropriately, right? People see anger and they think it's the action, it's the yelling. Yelling is anger. No, the anger is the emotion. The yelling is how you react to it. It's your expression of that anger, right? So then this idea of the expression of anger, it is how you show the emotion, right? The expression is how you show it. And so it's important that people can differentiate just simply that anger is the emotion first, right? It's not what you do after, right? How you express it is the problem that's healthy or quote unquote destructive. And so when we think about expression, how we move forward in showing this thing, this emotion, right? If you're sad, you may cry, right? Not always, but maybe. So with any emotion, there's normally something that comes after, right? So in anger, there's often what we like to call these unhealthy reactions. And so it's important that we really think about, how are you reacting in anger, right? You have to notice how you're reacting to it. And you have to notice, is it really anger? So the first way to really understand, right, how you are reacting to anger is to just notice that, is this even anger, number one, right? And number two, what do you do after, right? When you're angry, what happens next? What's that next thing? Because if you never notice it, you'll just continue to do whatever, right? See it. So if I'm always angry and I yell, or every time I get angry, that's not serving me to yell every time I get angry. But if you don't notice that and be able to say, oh, I need to fix it every time I'm angry, every time I yell because I get angry, I need to fix that. You'll just continue to do it mindlessly, right? It'll just continue to just go on and on and on and on. And so it's important that you stop, right? And really think about, well, what is it, right? What is going on? And I notice enough about what this is? Is it anger? Has someone crossed a boundary with you? Have they wronged you? Is it really anger, or could it be something else altogether? Are you just frustrated because you have a loss of control about a situation, right? Do you feel rejected because someone didn't acknowledge you in a way that you wanted to be acknowledged? Do you feel overwhelmed because you have so much going on in your life that everything's coming at you at one time, and that creates a level of anger within you? So it's really overwhelm, not necessarily anger, right? Do you feel manipulated? Someone that you trusted and then turned around, did something, negative, right? So all of those things can lead to this idea of anger, but they don't have to be anger. It's how you have decided that, yes, this is going to be anger, right? And so we have to notice that, okay, a lot of times there's an emotion behind the anger. So what can we figure out is the causing the anger, right? Understand what this thing is, right? And then understand, what's your response? What is your normal response? Okay, if it's yelling, can you stop yourself from yelling? What does that look like? If I notice that I'm angry. Oh, wait a minute. Can I stop myself? Notice that I'm angry. Feel the anger. It's okay to feel angry, right? It's what you do with it afterwards that matters. You cannot just go around yelling, throwing things, fighting people, right? If your response to anger is always fight, or I'm going to run away, or I'm just going to freeze in this moment, because all those are very normal responses to anger. Okay, but how do you work towards changing that? But you can't change something you don't pay attention to. And that's part of the problem is, right, not enough people actually pay attention enough to want to stop and change it. So it's important that, okay, figure out what's really happening, what's going on, and then, okay, acknowledge it, right? Be able to say, you know what? I'm angry because this person really let me down. I believed in who they were. I believed in the situation, and they manipulated me. So I'm really angry about that. And you're allowed to feel that anger. Allow yourself to feel that. But then what are you going to do about it next? Are you going to set a boundary with that person moving forward where you don't tell them your secrets or you don't spend time with them? Okay, right. That's more healthy than I'm going to call them up and I'm going to argue and I'm going to yell and I'm going to have every negative word to say to them and I'm going to curse them out. But you got to stop yourself at some point. So you got to decide when you decide to stop yourself. Is it going to be after the fact that you've already done the destructive means? Or is it going to be at the point where you just acknowledge that, you know what, I'm angry. I'm not going to act in my anger. I'm just going to feel mad. I'm going to be angry. Okay, whatever. Maybe I need to go to the gym and punch some punching bags instead of going over here and about to punch this person's face. They're different. So you can still have a reaction of like fight. Okay, maybe that is your normal reaction. So how do you transfer that normal reaction into something that's actually going to be positive for you? Maybe if your fight, go to the gym, right? Use that, get that anger out, right? In a positive way instead of towards someone else. So there are ways in which when you're noticing that this is what your response normally is, there are ways that you can figure out how to kind of make them more appropriate, make them quote unquote healthy. And so you just got to stop though and notice first. Because if you never stop and notice, you'll just continue to do the same things over and over and over.
What if you're on the other side? Okay. You're having a conversation with a friend, a spouse, and you notice that the volume just start getting louder and louder and louder. How do you handle that to avoid it getting to the level of anger?
And so I would say it's important to keep yourself, like notice yourself, right? Are you getting angrier as they're getting angrier? Two angry people have never solved anything, right? Even when you're talking about kids, right? I have an 8-year-old son. Like this little dude will manipulate me and dad, right? This is what kids do. And he will make me angry. I know that I have to be like, okay, I feel away right now. I don't want to yell at him. Dad, I need you to come help. I know to tap in my husband and say, hey, babe, I need you to come help with this right now because I can't, because I'm going to be yelling angry mommy, right? And I don't want to be yelling angry mommy, so I need you to come help. So you have to notice enough yourself to be able to say, okay, I can't do this with you. Or be able to say, hey, I noticed that you're upset right now. Can you stay calm enough in that situation and say, I noticed that you're a little upset right now because you're raising your voice. At least that's how it sounds to me. Let me know if I'm wrong. I've noticed this going on. Tell me it's making me feel unsafe or it's making me feel angry. So using this thing called I statements, this ability to say, I noticed that you are raising your voice. Is that towards me? Is that because, what is happening there, right? And being able to say, it makes me feel uncomfortable in that moment, being able to say that in a calm state. But you got to notice, right? You have to notice yourself, because if you're just getting angry as the person that you're noticing getting angry, so you're just going to match the anger, two angry people have never solved anything. So if you're both just going to be angry, you're wasting each other's time. So be able to say, okay, do I just need to tap out of this conversation? Do I need to wait and have this conversation with you later? Maybe we don't need to have another conversation ever again in life. I don't know, right? I think it depends on the situation. You have to decide what those boundaries are going to be when someone comes at you with anger. When somebody's coming at you with anger, what are your boundaries? So that it doesn't become something more than what you want it to, right? You can't control what somebody else does, but you can be in control of you and what you do and how you decide to react. And so that's what I would say.
Listen, I love this great stuff. Well, I can say that if you're in that situation, you got to tag in Coach Demetria.
Hey, I'm here to
For you. Listen, you have a wonderful day.
thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to the Dove's Inner Beauty podcast, where we foster emotional awareness one individual at a time. For a complimentary consultation, visit dovesinnerbeauty.com or call 336-298-6599. That's 336-298-6599.